Let's look at very briefly at the new idea also about artificial leaf as a coming attraction. Leaves are of course the solar cells of the world. They harvest light at a very low efficiency, 1 to 5%, but there are so many of them around the planet that they're able to capture enough sunlight to provide the bottom of the food chain in the ocean and on land for all the living things in some form or the other, unless there are chemosynthesizers which are directly decomposing some form of chemical that's not coming through photosynthesis. So the idea of artificial leaf was to directly take sunlight, water, and CO2 and see what could be produced. Daniel Nocera has been at it for a long time since he was a graduate student at Caltech, and at first he developed a simple way of splitting water to produce hydrogen with a silicon wafer coated with cobalt catalyst of some sort, and he proclaimed that this way of producing hydrogen cheaply was going to revolutionize life and abolish poverty. Of course, it turned out that to use hydrogen you need fuel cells, which is not very cheap at all. So he kept at it though, and more recently he has worked with Pamela Silver of Harvard University, a biologist I think, to actually go in a slightly different route, what they call it a bionic leaf. So instead of trying to produce hydrogen directly for fuel cell, what they have is a bacteria called Ralstonia eutropha, I think. So this feeds on hydrogen. So they produce hydrogen again using the idea of splitting water with a artificial leaf, and then they feed this hydrogen to the bacteria to produce liquid fuel from the bacteria. So it's called a bionic leaf that turns sunlight into liquid fuel. Obviously still in the laboratory experiments. It was declared a breakthrough technology by Scientific American in 2017. It says artificial turns carbon dioxide into liquid fuel. Technology that mimics photosynthesis converts carbon dioxide to fuels in a sustainable way. So that's the schematic they had used for discussing the idea. And now Pamela Silver's lab is extending the idea of the bionic leaf somehow into agriculture, and the Harvard Gazette says that maybe bionic leaf will solve the food problem by also making food production through bionic leaves much more sustainable and efficient, large scale, and so on and so forth. So artificial leaf is another technology that is a coming attraction that has potential to revolutionize the way we harvest solar energy for various things like fuel and food. And this is called biomimicry, where we are using natural processes that occur in nature to follow similar paths to produce what nature produces for us in terms of fuel and food.